First one called the one at Mardi Gras. I was at Mardi Gras last weekend, and I got a bunch of beads from parades. No, I didn't lift my shirt for them. And a friend of mine had a balcony on Bourbon Street, and we were on it on a Friday night, and the swarms of people stretched for over a mile. It was a mob. No one could walk, and the crowd just kind of carried them along. And all the men expected women to get naked for them for beads. And from my balcony, I would hear every few minutes a series of flash pops coupled with a roar from the crowd, and I knew that some woman lifted her shirt for the screaming masses. I refused, however, to strip for drunk strangers when I knew they all expected me to, being on a balcony and all. So men would look up at me and stretch out their arms, looking up inquisitively as if to ask either for me to strip for them or for me to give them beads. Now, since I wasn't stripping and I had plenty of my own beads, I decided to turn the tables and see if these men would accept the same conditions they expected of these women. So when they'd look up at me, they'd look at me for something, I'd say, "Drop your pants!" And they would look at me, confused, because the women are supposed to be the ones doing the stripping. But in general, I got two responses from the men. Either they would look at me like I was crazy and walk away, or they just shrug their shoulders as if to say, "Okay," and start unzipping their pants. And then they'd make a gesture to turn around as if to ask, "Do you want to see my butt?" And I'd yell, "The front!" And then they'd turn back around with their pants and their underwear at their knees, and they'd start swinging their hips, which I never asked for, by the way. And so over the course of the evening, I managed to get at least 20 men to strip like this for me. And I was amazed that there was this society, this microcosm of society that allowed this kind of debauchery in the streets, this sort of prostitution for plastic beads form of capitalism. And I was reveling in this bizarre annual ritual when one man, average to everyone else, wearing gray and minding his own business, decided to look up at me. So I asked him to drop his pants. And instead of disgustedly leaving or willingly obliging, he crossed both of his arms over his chest and looked up at me as if to ask, "You want me to do what? You naughty, naughty girl." And it occurred to me that I had finally found someone in this massive crowd that thinks the way I do. Now, New Orleans has a population, from what I hear, of about 1 million. But during Mardi Gras, they have like 9 or 10 million people there. And all I could think was that of all of these people here, I finally found someone who wouldn't blankly do what I asked, but at the same time wouldn't think I was crazy for asking. And of course, when I looked at him, I also thought that he was just stunning, drop-dead gorgeous, by far the best-looking man there the entire night. But then again, I was, nearsighted, and I was drunk on a balcony at Mardi Gras, so what am I going to do? So we eventually hit an impasse where he wouldn't strip and neither would I, so his attention wandered. Eventually, it was diverted to other balconies, but I noticed over the next half hour that he never left from under my balcony. And every once in a while, he would turn around and look up at me. Oh boy, I was thinking the entire time, I know this is no way to start a relationship. I'm not even sure if the guy lives anywhere near me, and I haven't even actually had a real conversation with him, but he seems near perfect. And all this time, we're all screaming and partying at Mardi Gras, and he'd still occasionally turn around and look up to make sure that I was still there. And finally, he looked at me, signaling that he had to move on with his friends. And so I held up my index finger to make him wait, and then I threw him some beads. And part of me threw it at him because he was a good sport, putting up with my taunting and still not giving in. But a part of me threw him because I saw in him the strong sense of values and the sense of self-worth, the sheer love of life, the desire to be alive that I had possessed all along and had always been looking for in someone else. This one, because I have children, churches, and daddy's magazine, I try to incorporate kids and churches and parental figures in the one called Kids Wielding Freedom and Sin. As close as I can get to the same time. Whenever the kids go away to school, they're suddenly on their own, and every sin suddenly now is within their grasp. If their parents aren't there to scold, the kids can still see the ranting preacher at the street corner denouncing every adult idea they now have. The preacher says the number one sin is lust, but all the kids know is that, well, they don't know if it's lust or if it's pride or greed. Only their own thoughts. They love gluttony and sloth. Though they don't that envy or wrath has anything to do with their adult urges now. It doesn't matter if the kids, if the preacher they call Mad Max on the quad, wielding his Bible and screaming maniacally at anybody who might catch a scrap of his scratchy voice. It doesn't matter if he ever preached in a church. It doesn't matter if the kids are religious or if they're atheists, because even from afar, the parents can be pleased that their religion can somehow work its way in when even when they're no longer around to indoctrinate their little ones themselves. They smile at the idea of that crazy preacher. They think, keep up the good work. I did a feature of a bunch of dreams, and this is a prose piece, and I guess whether you've heard it or not might be murder. So this is a dream about murder. I had a dream last night that was different from my usual dreams. Usually I dream about stuff that seems pretty real, somewhat mundane, and it was usually frustrating. But I don't know if it was the wine that I had at the Thanksgiving feast at Rachel's down the block, or if I'd heard some strange story on television earlier. But I dreamt about murder. Dave and I were staying at a hotel. I don't know where the hotel was, but it was on a body of water. I think it was a lake, not an ocean or anything. And I remember at some point, it was dawn in the dream, and I went for a jog. I noticed two good-looking men outside while I was on my jog, and then I went down the hill toward the water. I wanted to jog along the water, but they had it roped off. I don't even know who they were, but they had the whole area of the water roped off, maybe until full daylight, maybe until lifeguards were there to protect the people. But the point is, I couldn't get along the water to jog, and so I sat down at the bottom of the stairs by the water's edge, right in front of the ropes, and watched the water. And a woman came along and sat down at the stairs, and sat down right next to me to watch the water too. I remember thinking that I didn't like her being so close, that I'd like a sense of personal space. But then it occurred to me that there really wasn't much space for her to sit since this whole area was roped off. And the thing is, I don't even like to jog. Oh, so anyway, I don't even know why I went for that jog or at what point in time in my dream in that jog that it occurred. But I know that in the dream, I killed someone. It occurred before my dream technically started. I don't remember anything about the murder. I don't know if it was me or that did the killing or if Dave was there to help me out. I mean, I don't know what it was, why I killed this guy. I don't know if I killed him or if I killed someone in another room somehow and they were there in the hotel, someone that I didn't even really know. And the thing is, I was wearing fake nails during the murder, I think, or at least that's what I inferred in my dream, because I thought I lost one of them at the scene of the crime. And I was in this main part of this movie just trying to remove my fake nails in the bathroom, trying to get them off because they might implicate me in the murder. So there I am in the bathroom removing my nails, and there were these plastic nails glued onto my real nails, and they didn't even have nail polish on them. They were still just white plastic. And as I was removing these fake nails, I was dropping them on the floor because I was just ripping them off so frantically that I didn't want anyone to be able to link me to this murder. So then I finally got them all off, but I was still worried that I had a little glue left on my real fingernails, and so I was trying to scrape that off, and I was then trying to pick up all the nails off of the bathroom floor, and then some of them fell, they all fell to the right of the toilet, and they were on a tile floor. And I remember thinking that I was picking them up, and I also picked up a dust ball and a used piece of clear tape. I thought that was kind of odd because they usually clean up hotels every morning like that, so why was that there? So anyway, I was there picking up all of these nails, trying to make sure that I got them all, occasionally dropping one of them back on the floor because I was in such a hectic and frantic rush, and I was so nervous, and this made the whole procedure take up the most of my dream. Once I had all of the nails, the only thing I could then think was then how to dispose of these fake nails. And the rest of the dream became a frantic effort of trying to figure out how to get rid of them so that they couldn't be traced back to me. I thought that I could just flush them down the toilet, but then I thought that maybe there's a chance that one of them wouldn't go down, and then it would just be sitting at the bottom of the toilet, and then I wouldn't even notice, and then I would go home, and then I would see that there was actually one piece of key evidence left in the toilet for me that made this murder. So there I was, trying to figure out, well, wait, is there a way to sift through the sewer water from the hotel? So then I thought maybe I should just flush them all in different toilets to go to various public bathrooms around town and flush them all, one at a time in different places. And then I started to worry about that nail that I left at the scene of the crime. Wondered if maybe it took more than the actual glue with it. That if I actually took some of my nail with it, I could have left DNA evidence at the scene of the crime and there would be nothing that I could do. And then I started to wonder if I actually lost that nail at the scene of the murder, or if I was just overreacting. And then I wondered if anyone even had found that dead body yet, all that time laying there on some hotel floor. And then the phone rang, and I woke